Welcome back to Twin J Racing, everyone, and today we're going to work on this. We're going to install an electric fan and a recovery tank, so follow along. Welcome back to Twin J Racing, everyone, and today we're working on the 77.4. We ain't seen that one in a while, but we went and dug it out today, and we're using it in a parade tomorrow. So last year it got a little warm, not stupid warm, but it got 220 by the end of the parade with the heater on. So we purchased this Spall fan off of Amazon, and yes, it is a Spall fan, like 20 or 1200 or some CFM. And then I ordered a recovery tank off of Amazon also. It was like Evil Energy or something. I'm going to put this in because right now it just fits the atmosphere. We have to move a couple of fittings around to make it work the way we want it to. But this is a nice aluminum welded. It's got a drain on the bottom and a little like hoses here to tell you what the level is. We got to figure out where all of that's going to go. Or, well, mainly where this is going to go. I know where the electric fan's going to go. I thought it would be easier to mount in here, have more room, but yeah, it looks like I may have been wrong. And then we need to hook up the oil pressure gauge because I'm tired of not having oil pressure. So that's another thing we're going to work on today. I had originally thought it could go somewhere over here. I thought there was more fender room here, you know, mount it, make it look nice, but that doesn't seem like that's the case. So maybe mount it here, but I think that'll hit the hood there. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it might work there. Well, we'll have to see. I might move the horn so I can move it over a little bit farther. No, the horn's not even hooked up. Go figure. And horn hooked up. There is so much stuff on this truck that is not great. Oh no, it is hooked up. Never mind, it is hooked up. But we might move that horn a little bit so we can get that in there. But we have to move one of these fittings from here to down there. One of these fittings from here to down there. And that'll be where it comes in and out. And then this will just vent to atmosphere. So if it gets full, it can spit to atmosphere. But we'll play around with some ideas and figure out where we're going to mount that at. Because I want it to recover, and then that way this doesn't go empty because it's got air or it pukes a little out. Like right now it's a little low. It don't look too bad. I thought it was lower than that, but right now it just vents down to the ground. The hose sticks out down there. So I'd rather it not do that, and we're going to put that electric fan up here. The fan's easy. The wiring part will be a little bit more, but still not too bad. I'm wondering. No, I don't think that'll fit over there. Dang it. Because that would be better over here. Alright, we're going to do some figuring. See what we come up with. You saw me move the plug from down here to up here. I want to run this as a recovery tank, so antifreeze needs to come into the bottom out of the radiator when it vents. And you have to have a hose up here to atmosphere so it doesn't puke everywhere. So basically, I want to use this as a recovery tank. We're going to have to get a little bit bigger hose, get it put on there because these hose barbs are huge. So, And we're going to make a mount. After messing around, I got to go get a carriage bolt for the horn, so it's not in the way, but I want to make a mount like right here. This way the overflow is a little above or about the same plane as the radiator. We got 3 mounting holes we can hit. We're going to put nut certs inside there to hold all of that in place. And that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. That's what I came up with, right, wrong, or indifferent. And this way, hopefully, when it pukes a little antifreeze out, it doesn't just go to atmosphere and then you got to constantly fill this thing. That's my plan anyways. So let's get some holes marked. Let's get some holes drilled. Let's get some nut certs. Break. And I got to go get a carriage bolt for the horn. Yeah, it never ends. As you saw, we put the nut certs and everything in. That bottom one's just a little bit off. We're going to massage that a little bit, and then I'm going to go get some cap style screws to hold these in. Get some stainless ones so they don't rust and run down the aluminum. But then we got to run the hoses. But before I run into town, just because I know we're going to need other things, I'm going to get the radiator. The radiator is installed. I'm going to get the radiator fan, the Spall fan I bought, installed, and then we're going to pull the oil filter sending unit, or oil pressure sending unit, because this has a set of gauges in it, but they're not hooked up. And I'm going to see what kind of adapters and stuff we need to make that work. So let's work on this fan. Let me go grab it. We're going to do the zip tie kind of method to install it. Here's the Spall fan. What I love is they give you this pigtail. They don't give you anything for the other side. Don't give you any mounts. It's just the fan. But we're going to use, wherever I put them, right here. We are going to use these, the All-Star Performance. Like I said, they're kind of like a zip tie, kind of not a zip tie. Oh, they staple that on there and the bag's not open. Basically, these are kind of like a bolt thing. Let me set these over here, because this is where all the crap. Basically, you put this washer on, and then if you choose, you can put this piece of foam or whatever. I like the fans up as tight as possible against the radiator. So you'll slide this through here. I don't even like that. Let's see, we may not use the washer, or we may modify the washer. And I don't like that either. We may cut that washer down some. But basically, put the washer in. And then you have this foam pad. You either put that between the fan or not. I do not like running these between the radiator because that gives it a gap. You want that thing on there nice and tight. So what a lot of times you'll do is you'll put this on the other side, and then you have this here. You can push that on, but you can screw it back off if you choose to. That's why they're like a zip tie, but they're not. Now I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with these washers, because I just... never ends. Nothing's ever simple, is it? I need to go get a grinder. This is what we came up with. A little bit of grinder work. So we marked all the other washers to make them all match. Oh. We got them all cut. We get them all kind of lined out here. Probably not. Probably should take them all out. Or at least most of them out. And we'll get this in place. And then we'll punch them through one at a time. Probably the smarter bet. Okay. So the hot water comes in here, so I honestly think and then that puts that right up top. Yeah, let's try that, see if that helps there. And you literally just push these through the radiator. And then you put all the stuff on the other side. There's one. There's that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. There's three, and that one hit the fan. So now for my next trick, I honestly don't know. Because it's behind there. There we go. All four of them are now through. Oh. Don't be old, guys. It sucks. I don't think I'm going to use the rubber blocks. I think I'm just going to put these up tight because there is still a mechanical fan in there and I want to keep it as far isolated from hitting something in there as I can. You know, if I was a smart man, I would have grabbed a pair of wire cutters before I crawled all the way back in here. But I have never been accused of being a smart man. I am going to install a relay when I do fully finish this job, but for right now these will work. We ready? See if this works? Of course not. Let's see if it works now. And of course, it's going to start raining now. Why? A little bit there. Okay, it does work. Yeah, we just ignore that because it's supposed to be a pusher. That's what I wanted, was a pusher, not a puller. So it says it's reversible. And we'll make this, we'll shrink those. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to run the ground wire, or what I'm going to run the ground wire to. I might honestly just lug it and put it over here. I am going to put a relay in here. Let me go get some electrical tape. We're going to take out that sending unit real quick like we talked about. We've kind of abandoned the fan for now and the other projects because we need to go get some parts. And I don't want to be messing around. Without the parts. So we're just going to keep taking more stuff apart, I think. And then we discovered, while I was messing around looking at the oil filter thing, or oil pressure thing, this T is nice and loose, so we gotta fix that. Yeah, and all the caps on it aren't the greatest anyways, so we need to put new caps on it, and that thing is got to get some tape put on it because it is definitely got a few issues. Okay, that's not going to quite work the way I thought it would. I miss my Chevys, but anyways, we're after this down here. Because this does not hook to any wires, and I don't see where the wire is for the factory gauge. I could figure it out, and I might in the future, but for right now, that's probably 1/4 inch. We need to see if we got an adapter for that. If not, we're going to buy one while we're in town. Want to get everything at once, but we got to deal with this too. Thank you. Put a little tape and put that puppy back in. So, hang out. I'm going to go get a piece of tape and a wrench. Well, we're back, and I have what we need to make some stuff happen. This here is the fitting we'll need for the oil pressure, and luckily the hose or the line that they have in here, the brass line, which is what I prefer, has the proper, it has a barb, a ferrule and a barb on it. So we can just put all of this together once I kind of fish this all over here. But we gotta tighten that up first. Let's not put that line on yet. All right, that's good. Now we'll put this line on. Oh, finally started. Good. I'm like, that was not wanting to start. That's not good, but it finally started. I don't know if you boys and girls have ever dealt with relays. They're actually really, really simple once you learn how to use them. And I've used them for a long time on different things, but they have a diagram here on the top, and it's basically showing you 87A is with the relay closed, and 87 regular is with the relay activated. So underneath here, and it's going to be really hard to see on video, but each one of these legs is labeled with a different number. And basically you have your 86 and 85, that's your positive and your ground. And usually you ground the relay and you use a positive feed to activate it, depending on what you're doing. A lot of times I'll use a negative feed to activate it, because I'll put a sensor in the engine or something that's on the ground, and when it hits a certain temperature it'll turn the fan on, and when it hits a certain temperature again, it turns the fan off. And then you have this side leg, which that is 30, which is your input normally. If you look at that, the side leg is your input and or your output, depending on how you look at it. Then you have 87, which is this one, and 87A, which is this one. This one and this one are connected when the relay is not activated. So this way you can use it for switching things. If you activate the relay, then this one and this one are connected. So that's why usually you'll use this for your output and or input, depending on what action you're trying to happen. I'm going to use this as my output on this one, because this will go to the fan, and I will put a 12-volt source with a fuse into it. That way it doesn't short out and try to burn the truck down. You always fuse your feeds, and then that way too you get a steady current amperage from the battery to this, and you're not running it through your switch, because you will melt most switches with the amperage a fan draws. That's why you always run a relay. Lights, anything that draws a lot of amps, you always run a relay, at least my opinion. So it's a quick simplistic lesson on relays. I could actually probably get wiring diagram or draw some diagrams and stuff, but that's basically all you need to know right there. What's going on? They're simple. Like I said, once you understand them, they're simple. I learned a lot of this back when I worked for my buddy installing remote starts. You had to do inverted, or not inverted, but take positive to negative and all kinds of weird stuff. You learn how to use relays. But you do use this so you don't burn up a switch, and you get constant power so it works properly. Okay, boys and girls, we just went and got a bunch more parts. Well, a lot of miscellaneous BS. And got hose, which is a little small for this, but we're going to make it fit. It's a 5/16 hose, and that should be 3/8, but 5/16 fits good on the radiator. Guarantee it ain't coming back off. Let's go back. We push that on. I'm gonna go find a clamp because, like we talked about in the last video, I always clamp these. I had it come loose once on the race car on the high side of the track, and that wasn't good. Ugh. Granted, I have zero intentions of racing this, but I still don't want water going all over the place. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to run the hose yet. First things first, I did get a carriage bolt for the horn. We gotta make sure that goes in first. Where'd the horn go? Toot, 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 toot. Now, I didn't get the cap screws directly the way I wanted to. I ended up getting button heads. It's what they had in stainless because I wanted stainless. So that's what I got. So I'm gonna go get a socket for these, or Allen for these. That's a new one for me. These are 1/4 which are American, but it takes a 4mm socket or Allen. Okay, back on task. Flat washers, bolt, all stainless because I don't want any of this to rust onto the aluminum. Sometimes stuff just doesn't work out and I'm going to have to grind just a little bit. That's what you saw me just mark. I'm going to take this all out, grind it. I don't know where I just put my Allen wrench. Grind that one corner just a scotch and then it'll all work. What a pain in the butt. Trying to make stuff better sometimes is a bigger pain. And the other thing we learned too is where that is pushing against that, I can't put a washer on that bottom left-hand bolt. Yeah, bottom left-hand bolt. Like, no, right hand. That's from where I'm sitting, but that's the bottom left-hand bolt. This actually probably should be one of them damn spring clamp hose clamps, because I can't even get. Okay, that one's not getting a hose clamp because it will not stay. I cannot get that hose clamp between there and there. All right, now we need some more 3/16 or 5/16 hose. I bought 3 foot and I used every bit of it there. Ouch. Oh, that didn't work. I mean, we do have a clamp somewhere. Now we gotta get back over here and finish wiring everything. Or figure out how we want to wire everything. When I ran into town a little bit ago, I bought a fusible link, or well, a fuse. That way, it's fused. Plain and simple. I always fuse everything that's got a battery draw to it. We'll run power from there. Should be able to just use this. We got a lot of work done. There was people here, so you know I don't normally record when there's a lot of people here. It seemed like a revolving door last night, but we got it done and it works. I'm not fully happy because this is kind of a rushed install. We'll fix it later because I don't have everything I want. Because I want to put a thermostat in it, in here somewhere, put a thermostat sensor in it to tell it when to turn on and off, rather than me running a switch. But that'll come in the future. Got the relay mounted, which we talked about the wiring on that. That's the ground. You know, the green wire going all the way around. That is going through the switch inside. We'll loom all that stuff later. Probably not. Power. Or no, that's ground to the fan. Power is coming off of here with the fuse down there. And then that all runs inside to the switch, which is on a switched power, so that way you can't leave it on if you shut the truck off. But yeah, I'm not happy about this, but this is what I had. Let's see if you boys and girls can hear it. Key on. So it's functional. That's what's important, is it's functional. So am I happy about the install? No. It could have been nicer, but it'll get cleaned up later. Today's thing was to make sure and get it done for the parade. This is installed. I put a little bit of antifreeze in it. You know, just a little bit. That way if it wants to suck some in, it can. I filled the radiator. We should be good to see, and we'll see it expand into there. The other thing we did hook up the oil pressure gauge. Oh, It's cold. I haven't started it yet. Oh. We got oil. We got oil pressures. So that works. So we made some progress. At least now I can tell you what the oil pressure is in this thing. So that's kind of a wrap up of what we're doing to this right now. There'll be more in the future. We really do need to pull the engine out and go through it. Oh, not so much go through the engine, but fix all the leaks. We kind of hillbillied it for now and put a bunch of silicone in the one known leak. So that, I mean, it'll work for now. With all of that, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you boys and girls in the next one.